class. Assalamualaikum and good day everyone. Okay, so for this video I will show you the example, okay, on the previous topics that we learned, which is ODE and PDE, order, linearity, and also the independent and also dependent variable. So this is the example. So I will show you through this way. Okay, alright. So class, so the question here is identify for each of it, okay, the type of the equation, which is ODE or PDE, and then the order and also the linearity. Okay, so I will show you first. Okay, we start with question 1. So I suggest you, I really hope that you can follow the way how I do it, my what we call the solution for this. Okay, first thing, I want you to write what is your dependent variable and what is your independent variable. Okay class, what is your dependent variable and what is your dependent variable? So just write D and I lah. Okay, so from this question, so identify what is your dependent variable. This is F. Okay, what is your independent variable? X, right? Okay, as I said, the denominator, the dependent variable is located at the top, which is at the above side, and the independent is on the below side. Okay, so you have D and E. Then you can see how many independent variables that exist here. So they have only one. So where is only one, therefore the type of this equation is a ODE. Okay, it's ordinary differential equation because just only one independent variable. Okay, then identify the order. Okay, what's the order? So order here means that, if you still remember, the order here is the highest derivative. Okay, highest derivative that appear in this equation. So you can see that this is a second derivative. This is the first derivative. Okay, satu. Dia tak tulis apa. I mean, it's nothing here means it's only one lah. Okay, first derivative, second derivative, and all of this nothing. So you can see that this is a second derivative. Therefore, the order for this equation is second order. Then we want to know whether this equation is linear or non-linear. Okay, so this is the most not the hardest part, but is compared to this order or the A so on. But for the linearity is something that is you need to what we call to put extra lah. Okay, because they have 3 conditions that you need to know, and this equation is said to be linear if all the 3 conditions is fulfilled. Okay, so you need to know or you need to memorize all the 3 conditions. Okay, so first, okay, we look at, okay, and then class, focus on dependent variable only. Okay, focus on dependent variable only. Okay, so the first one is do not occur product between dependent variable. Okay, so kat sini dependent variable dia F. So this derivative lah, okay, derivative of dependent variable F, and its multiplication is a product between X and F. So X is independent, right? So it's okay. Okay, kalau hasil darab antara independent dengan dependent, so it's okay. Yang tak bolehnya kat sini kalau berlaku product between dependent and dependent. So this is okay. How about this one? This one also okay because this is independent variable. And one more thing here is, yeah, they have sign, which is sign is a non-linear, okay, non-linear function. But you need to see which variable involved here. Is X. X is independent variable. So therefore, all the conditions are fulfilled. Therefore, this one is linear. Okay class, so please don't get confused. Even though, yeah, I said that before that if we involve with non-linear function, which is sine, cos, tangent, trigonometry, exponential, and then ln, but you need to see whether the function, the variable that involved here is independent or dependent. So as I mentioned early in the previous video, so I already mentioned it, just focus for linearity, just focus on dependent variable. Okay, so the answer is linear. Okay, how about for the second one? Okay, for the second one, D I. Okay, D. What is the variable for the what we call the dependent here? Dependent here is Y, and the independent is X. Therefore, you just only have one independent variable here. So therefore, this is ODE. And then what is the order? The highest equation, the higher derivative here is second order. So this is second order. And then is it linear or non-linear? Okay, you can see one by one. So this is a multiplication. So this okay, this okay, this also okay. So this is linear. Okay, so I just go fast, so you can do it by yourself. Then you can check with my answer later on. Okay. Alright, so di. Okay, so the dependent variable here is f, and independent here is x. So it's ODE, and then the second order, and then this linear or not? Yes, it's linear. Okay, it's linear because this is sin x. X is independent variable. Then for number 4, what is your D? What is your I? Dependent variable here x and y. Okay, they have two, x and y. What is your independent? Is T. So you just only have one independent. Okay, class. Even though your dependent here, they have two, but we just consider independent to determine whether the equation ODE, PDE, we just focus on number independent variable. Okay, so the number of independence is only one, so therefore it's ODE. Even though your dependent here is more than one, but we just look at independent. Okay, this one is for ODE, PDE. For linearity, you need to focus on dependent, but for identify the ODE or PDE, you just focus on the numbers of independent variable. Then, what's the order? Okay, the order here is first order. Okay, why first order? Because this term is first order. Okay, they have only one lah. Dia tak tulis kan, tapi we know that they have one exist here. So this is a first derivative. This is also first derivative. So both are first derivative. Therefore, the order for this equation is a first order. Then, is it linear or not? This linear, linear. Yep, this is non-linear. Okay, because of what? Sorry, this is linear class, sorry. This is linear. Okay, this is linear class. Sin T, T is independent, so it's a linear. Okay, then number 5. What is your dependent variable here? Is F. What is your independent? Is x and y. Okay, therefore you have two independent variable here. Therefore, it's a PDE. Okay, class. This is a PDE. And then, what's the order? It's a first order. And is it linear or not? Yes, it's linear. Okay, class. You can see. Can you differentiate? You can see how I write the D here. It's a curly D, something like this. It's not D. Okay, kalau you tengok for question 1 until 4, I write D as a normal D lah. Saya tulis D tu macam normal D biasa. Tapi for question 5 here, I write the curly D, something like this. So this is the hint. Okay, for PDE, this is how we write the D, the derivative. This is how we write for PDE. So automatically you know when we comes or when you see this shape or this the way we write D here, so that means this is a PDE. Okay. Alright, so then question 6. Okay, what is your D? What is your I? Okay, your D here is F, and your I here, you have two variables, which is X and Y. Therefore, this is PDE. Okay, so you can see that this is how we write the D for PDE. Okay. And then what is the order? The order here is this is a third derivative and this is second derivative. So therefore the highest order here is a third order. Okay, the highest derivative, sorry, the highest derivative here is 3. Therefore this is the third order. And then is a linear or not? Yes, it's the linear. Okay, for number 7. Okay, class number 7 here. What is your D? What is your I? Your D here is Y, while I here is F. Therefore, it's a ODE. Okay, what's the order? 3 or 4? Okay, 3 or 4. So please don't get confused. I repeat again here. This 4 is not derivative. This 4 is a power. You can see they have a bracket here, and then 4 outside here, right? So 4 here is a power. Okay, 4 here is a power, and 3 here is derivative. So the highest derivative that appear in here is 3. So therefore it's a third order. Then it's a non-linear. Okay class, so this is the example of non-linear. Because why? Okay, when you get the question of non-linear, please make sure that you mention why you say it's non-linear. It's non-linear because of power more than 1. Okay, because this is power 4. Okay, power 4, and it's power 4 for the derivative of dependent variable. Okay, jangan silap, jangan confuse pula. You focus on dependent variable. Yes, it's y, and it's the derivative of y, and then derivative of y cannot be more than 1. Power cannot be more than 1. So that's for this term leads to the non-linear. Okay. Alright, for number 8 class. Alright, so d I. So what is your d? What is your dependent variable here is f, and independent they have 2, x and y. Okay, so maybe some of you will wonder, what is this? What is this? Actually, this is the way how we write the derivative. Dia ada banyak cara nak tulis derivative. So but actually this is the meaning of d square f dx square. Okay, so this is the meaning of this term. Okay, so it means that this is a second derivative. So means, okay, so I just write this one first. So this is a PDE, and then the order of it, since this is a second derivative, so therefore this is a second order. And then what is the linear? It's a linear. Okay, so jangan silap. Okay, kalau you boleh tengok kat sini, kita ada x power 2, which is more than 1 kan, power dia more than 1. But class, x is independent variable. Okay, the power semua ni, power ni kita tengok pada dependent variable only. Okay, so that's for sebab tu saya nak highlightkan, make sure you focus on dependent variable to determine linearity lah. Okay, to determine the linearity, you tengok pada dependent variable. Okay, alright class, so this is the example, okay, on how we identify all these dependent variable, independent variable, and then the type of it, whether it's ODE or PDE, and then the order and also the linearity. Alright, so I already upload the question for tutorial, so I hope that you can do it by yourself. Then later on we will whether I give you the answer in the unit or we will discuss when we have the face-to-face session later. Okay, right, thank you.